Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at the next film in the Universal Horror Monsters and Curiosities box set from Umbrella Entertainment, and it is 1944's House of Frankenstein. So this is directed by Earl C. Kenton, who also did Island of Lost Souls, The Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and The Cat Creeps. And it is a horror film, clocking in at 70 minutes long. Boris Karloff and Lionel Atwill return from previous films that we've talked about. But we've also got the likes of Lon Chaney Jr., who I've seen in 24 other films. He's most notable, obviously, for being in The Wolfman, which is the same role that he has in this film, and he'd play that role in 3 other films as well. He'd also play Caris in 3 of the Mummy sequels. He was also in all 6 of the Inner Sanctum films, as well as Man-Made Monster, The Cyclops, and The Black Castle. You've also got J. Carol Naish, who was in 2 of the Inner Sanctum films, Strange Confession and Calling Dr. Death, as well as John Carradine, who plays Dracula in this film. He also would go on to play that role again in House of Dracula. But his career was very extremely long, going right into the 80s. He'd also been in the likes of The Howling and The Monster Club. And finally got Anne Gwynn, who was in Black Friday, the 1940 version of The Black Cat, and one of the Inner Sanctum films, Weird Woman. So, deranged scientist Gustav Niemann escapes from prison and overtakes the director of a travelling chamber of horrors, soon reviving the infamous Count Dracula, the frozen Frankenstein monster, and the Wolfman. So, unfortunately, when it comes to this box set, this film is out of order, and by quite a considerable margin, as this should have been in this box set put after Ghost of Frankenstein and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, as the first of those came out in 1942 and the next of those came out in 1943. It's kind of annoying as well because Ghost of Frankenstein pretty much follows on directly from Son of Frankenstein, as you have Bela Lugosi playing Igor in that, and he's again trying to revive Frankenstein's monster after he gets destroyed in Son of Frankenstein. But even worse is the fact that Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman has an ending to it that is referenced in this film, as there is a dam that is burst to destroy Frankenstein's castle. And yeah, if you haven't seen Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman, then you obviously have no idea what they're talking about in House of Frankenstein. So that is a little bit of a shame. And but yeah, saying that, although this 6th film in the Frankenstein series does reverse the downward trend in quality seen in the prior effort, as Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman isn't as good as this one, it still pales in comparison to the first 3, while not being quite as fun as The Ghost of Frankenstein. So we will be looking at those 2 that I've just mentioned there. But for whatever reason, they're out of order. And quite frankly, if any fan of these films or anyone that is knowledgeable about film in general would have picked that up and reversed the discs around, or at least put Ghost of Frankenstein on the disc that this is on immediately after Son of Frankenstein, and then put House of Frankenstein on the next disc after after Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman. So yeah, and a massive error on Umbrella's entertainment part there, unfortunately. That said, though, the cast is really good in this. It does slightly better job than the prior film at bringing together classic monsters in one film, as in Frankenstein Meets Wolfman. Obviously, you get Frankenstein's monster and the Wolfman joining together. Although this would be the first film that you'd have Dracula, the Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monster all in one film. Basically, like the Avengers, I guess you could say, of the day. And yeah, it is also well paced, has a fun finale, solid production value, and it is great to see Karloff in a non-monster role, as he gets not only more screen time, but also lends this some real weight with his character. So, yeah, for once, Karloff isn't playing a monster in one of these Frankenstein films. Obviously, he played Frankenstein's monster in the first 3, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and Son of Frankenstein. But in this one, yeah, he's playing the role of Gustav Niemann, the deranged scientist. And yeah, it's really, really neat to have him in that opposing role, as yeah, he's able to show off that he's more than just a a non-speaking character in film. So yeah, it's overall a solid effort at 3.5 out of 5. But I just wish that in this box set it was in the correct order. I still can't believe that they actually messed that up as drastically as they did. Now, granted, there are other films in this box set that are out of order in terms of year. For instance, we have films from the 1930s still yet to come in this box set. Not necessarily films that we will look at, because there are some here that we have looked at in previous releases from the likes of Eureka. But that is no issue because those films are generally not connected to one another. Whereas the Frankenstein series, despite being over the course of more than a decade, were really, really well done in terms of their continuity and referencing prior events and such. So, yeah, to mess that up is a real, real shame, to be honest. So, yeah, bad marks on Umbrella's part there to have messed that up so spectacular, quite frankly. So, yeah, but the film itself does look good in its Blu-ray format. It's in 133 to 1 aspect ratio, black and white. The 2.0 DTS HD MA audio is good. You learn a English language soundtrack with also English language subtitles as well. And yeah, like the Bride of Frankenstein, which is on the same disc as this one, this also has a theatrical trailer for it as well as a minor little extra there. But yeah, it's just a shame really that they've screwed up the order of the films. To be honest, it's not something that I can see being easily done. It is at the end of the day very easy to see the years that they come out, and you just look on Wikipedia, for instance, and you'll be able to see the film, the order of the series itself. So yeah, it's a great shame that they're out of order, but the film itself is still good. I just would recommend watching Ghost of Frankenstein and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman first, and then skipping back to this one because otherwise you will see events that have happened in House of Frankenstein and not realize what actually happened unless you've seen those films beforehand. So yeah, but I said that I would stick to the order that these films are in this box set. So despite it being an incorrect move from Umbrella Entertainment's part, I have had to stick to it due to me wanting to go for this box set in order, even though it is obviously in the incorrect order. But nonetheless, if you have seen House of Frankenstein before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.